Hi, my name is Amber Thompson. I am the author of City of Steel, and this is how I wrote it. I came in contact with Madison and Park on Instagram. I saw videos of the How I Wrote It series. I was seeing some of the footage that was taken from those interviews, and I thought, this is exactly what my book needs. I wanted to publish with a company that really knows writers and how to promote writers and get their work out and have a very beautiful aesthetic. And I think they just did a fantastic job. So City of Steel is the story of Laila Abdullah. She goes back to Syria after she hears news of her father's car accident. And while she's there, she falls in love with Ali, with the country, with everything about Syria. So, of course, once she starts feeling at home and a sense of belonging and a little bit of happiness in her life, then Jamil, who is Ali's best friend and heir to the presidency, decides that he does not approve. So both of them have to decide where their loyalties lie. Laila as a character was fully formed in my mind before I even started writing City of Steel. I was working on a book before that, and nothing was really coming together, but she was a strong character in my mind. And then when the uprising began in Syria, I was thinking of so many memories from there, and I started writing about just the sensory experience of being in Damascus and what it was like. And Laila came into that story, and it just exploded from there. It became a fully formed story with all the characters, a beginning, middle, and end. And she was just so fun to write. So none of the characters in City of Steel are real people, but they were inspired by kind of a strata of society in Damascus. So you have Laila, who was raised abroad, and she has an American mother, a Syrian father. You have Omar, who is the merchant class, making money, hustling, Western educated, but very closely tied to the regime. You have Ali, who is very much a part of the regime. And of course, Jamil, who is the ultimate authority figure in Damascus. So they were inspired by everybody in Damascus and kind of the roles that they play. My writing routine at first was very chaotic. The book came to me in such a massive download that it felt like I was writing a tsunami wave all the time. So it was years of getting up at 5:30 before my kids got up, writing in the car, writing on planes, writing anytime, anywhere I possibly could, just to get the whole thing down. And as I started to see the story coming to fruition and looking a little bit more organized, then I started to look at editors and looking at somebody who could just give me a little bit of feedback about how to structure the storyline. And that really helped me and led me to think, maybe I could publish this. Because when I first started writing, I had no intention of writing a book, publishing a book, or becoming a professional writer. So the steps that I took towards the establishing the routine was really a process. And now I have a much more established process, but I don't write the way that I used to for City of Steel. So now it's a new routine, and I do things a little bit differently, and I feel like I found a little bit better balance than I did when I was a new writer. Some of the challenges that I really encountered early in my writing days were taking my writing seriously enough to establish boundaries around my time, because I always felt a little bit guilty about it. I thought, this is just a hobby, this is a luxury. I have to take other parts of my life more seriously, my relationships, my home, my children. And we all have so many things that we're balancing. So it really was a transformational process to get to, my writing is really important. I have to prioritize it. I have to guard my writing time as seriously as I would any other job. So one of the aha moments that I had while I was writing was the characters really led me down the path to where the story was going. And there was a time when I really wanted to take more control back from them. And the aha moment was just, these characters are very much alive for you. And that may sound a little bit crazy, but there's a lot of resistance when you don't allow them to be who they are, and you don't follow and trust that the story is already fully formed. So the aha moment was just, don't try to control it. Just follow the characters. They will tell you where to go, and trust it. My experience with working with Madison and Park was fantastic because I had hit a few roadblocks before I found the agency. And I was really looking for a US-based publisher, but that had a very global vision because my book was doing really well with American readers. And I just felt like we needed to be based here in the US, but have very much an outreach to the Middle East, but also there were people reading the book in Europe. So I really felt like Madison and Park got the vision and really took a lot of time in understanding the story and what I was trying to do with the story. And the agency really loves writers. And so to me, that was a big, big deal. And to have someone put the pieces in that had been missing for me in terms of just being seen and branding and marketing and social media and people who are professionals at doing that, it was the missing piece for me. So it worked out really beautifully and it was an easy process. So since I published City of Steel, I've had a few book signings and I have met some readers that I wouldn't have otherwise come into contact with. And they come and they ask me questions about the book and they're excited about the book and they want to know when the next book is coming. So that's been really a beautiful process, especially for a writer. We spend so much time alone with our work, with our characters, and it feels sometimes like nobody's ever going to get this or see this. So when you get out and you hear people have read your book and they're excited about it and they enjoyed it, it's so magical. It's so special. What I would like for people to take away from City of Steel is a very different idea of what Syria is like. If you've been watching the news for the past decade and a half, you might have a very skewed vision of what it's like. And we talked about two contradictory truths still both being true. And so I think that's Syria in a nutshell, is both things are true. Syria is beautiful. Syria is an amazing place. I hope people see Damascus and want to go there and feel all the feelings that I felt when I was growing up there, and then Laila got to experience, and I got to experience again through her. So City of Steel is the first in 3-book series. City of Steel is about identity. City Divided is about power. And City of Jasmine is about love. So we will follow all of those themes throughout the entire series, but at its heart, the series is about love. It's about Laila and Ali and their love story and Syria. The wisdom that I would pass on to other writers is just do it. Don't be afraid. You're never going to be perfect. You're never going to have tons of time. Life is happening and you have a lot of support. There are people who can help you and people who support you and want to be there for you and want to see you succeed. So if you want to write a book, there's a very strong chance that there is a good book inside of you and you are able to follow it through to the end. My name is Amber Thompson. I am a Madison and Park Global author, and that is how I wrote it.